2 million Floridians are in the dark tonight in the Sunshine State, and forecasters say that the state has not even seen the worst of Hurricane Irma just yet. The storm is continuing to pound Florida, uprooting trees and turning streets into rivers. Right now, Naples and Marco Island are getting hit the hardest with some of the strongest winds. According to the National Hurricane Center, Irma now downgraded to a Category 2 storm, I should say, packing winds of 120 miles per hour as it hugs along the southwest Florida coast. Storm surges that continue to threaten Florida's coastal cities are expected to become even more dangerous than the powerful winds. Florida Governor Rick Scott says that Irma's wrath is unprecedented. Meanwhile, check out this scene from Miami. 2 construction cranes snapping in those high winds, both of them crashing into a building that's under construction. That city was hit with Irma's powerful winds around 10 o'clock this morning. The storm itself is some 400 miles wide. That's covering both coasts of Florida. And look at this. Florida deputies were forced to rescue 2 people who tried to ride out the storm at an anchored sailboat. A sheriff's office boat pulled alongside their vessel in Martin County earlier today. The Palm Beach Post says that the 2 people inside were taken by police boat. The deputies told the newspaper that no one was hurt. Martin County is on the east coast of Florida, the opposite of where Irma is expected to hit the hardest. McNamara and meteorologist Tim Williams are tracking Hurricane Irma's path right now. We want to get to them in the First Warning Weather Center. Tim.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. We want to decipher a few of the things we've been talking to you about. Some of the strongest impacts right now moving across Naples. That is because the eye of the storm is now moving across Naples. Typically, the front and the right side of a hurricane is the strongest. That is because that is the side that's usually pushing the water from the ocean onto land. Because Irma has been so large and covers the entire state, not only is the front right side of it pushing water onto shore, which creates storm surge, but also the back side is creating the same dynamic from the Gulf side. It's also pushing water onto the land. That is why, even though the eye is going past Naples, some of the strongest storm surge and some of the strongest winds may be happening as the eye goes past, because in the rotation, now the waves and now the storm surge will be pushed onto land. This storm, as we mentioned, has been downgraded to a Category 2 storm now. It is a Category 2 hurricane with winds at 110 miles per hour, gusts up to 135. Moving to the north at just around 14 miles per hour, expected to stay right along the coastline or just kind of fluctuate right onto land at some point between now and Monday. As a Category 1 storm, it will continue up right onto the Florida-Georgia coastline, and then as a tropical storm move on into the deep south. We are looking also, as the models are starting to continue to keep this storm trending to the western side. There's really not much fluctuation, but we do expect for it to move into maybe the Tennessee and then Ohio valleys, and we may be dealing with some of the remnants of this storm going into the middle of the week. For more on the impacts, we send it over to Meg McNamara. Meg?
Well, certainly, Tim, we're talking about life-threatening storm surge, life-threatening winds. Want to start off with a look at some of the current winds, and these are only going to get worse. So, yes, our radar clocking winds there 69 miles an hour in portions there near Naples, 67 miles an hour a little further south, pretty much in the 60s there as we look at the Florida Peninsula. And we know the strongest winds yet to come. The storm surge, also catastrophic. 10 to 15 feet of water piling up on top of the rain totals for that southwestern portion there of Florida. As we track a little bit further inland, getting a little less there, 6 to 10 feet. But keep in mind, these numbers are going to be in addition to the rainfall expected. So that combination, water and strong wind, really not good news for just about the entire state of Florida, I would say, excluding maybe the far western portions of the Panhandle. The rainfall potential, so there it is. Folks in Miami looking at about 15 more inches of rain over the next couple of days. 16 there for folks in Jacksonville. So certainly life-threatening at this point. Florida really under the gun. We'll be tracking this throughout the night, of course, over the next couple of days, and keep you updated when we do get those from the National Hurricane Center.